Hello guys, welcome to Intellect Skills. This is your first tutorial on front-end web development. So let's begin. So before we start, let me actually introduce myself. My name is Jude Martin and I am a front-end developer with over 6 years of experience. So let me quickly run you through what's included in this course. We will first begin with the website overview. Then we will have a brief tutorial on HTML, CSS, responsive web development. We will also learn the latest framework that is Bootstrap 4, moving forward to JavaScript, jQuery. We will also understand the fundamentals of UI and UX and page speed optimization. If you are not familiar with these terms, do not worry. Just sit back and relax because we are going to discuss everything in detail. By the end of this course, I not only assure you that you will be able to develop websites from scratch, but you will also be able to develop responsive websites, meaning your website would work perfectly across all devices that would include desktop, tablet, and mobiles. It would not only be a responsive website, but your website would also be cross-browser compatible, meaning it would work perfectly across different browsers. As we progress with our course, I will also share the challenges and difficulties that we face in real time during our development. We'll also help you with a solution to every problem. By the end of this course, you can also call yourself a full-stack front-end web developer. So without further ado, let's begin with our first topic, that is website overview. Now, what is a website? A website is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a domain name and published on a web server. An example would include Facebook.com, Amazon.com, and so on. So now let's understand how a website actually works. When a user enters a website address in a browser, the URL gets resolved and a request is sent to the server of the website. This response is then analyzed by the web server, and the page is rendered and displayed on the user's browser. So let's understand this with a simple example. Let's say we have a user X. Now user X wants to browse a website. Let's say Facebook.com. Now he enters Facebook.com in the address bar of his browser and hits enter. Now what happens is, the browser will send a request to the web server. Before moving forward, let's understand what exactly is a web server. A web server is basically an internet-connected computer where all of your website files are stored or hosted. So now, when the request is received by the web server, a copy of the requested web page is downloaded from the server and then sent back to the browser. And this is how Mr. X is able to browse Facebook.com. So now let's discuss the languages that the websites are built on. So now, this is completely divided into two types. The first is front-end programming language, and the second is back-end programming languages. Let's first discuss what front-end programming languages are. Front-end development manages everything that users visually see in their browser or application. Front-end developers are responsible for the look and feel of a site. So, everything that you visually see on your browsers are developed by front-end developers. So what languages are used in front-end development? The first is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We will discuss this in detail during our tutorial. Now let's discuss about backend programming languages. Backend programming languages refers to the server side of an application and everything that communicates between the database and the browser. Let's understand this in some simple terms. So now let's assume you have a Facebook profile and you want to upload an image. So as you upload an image, the image that is uploaded gets saved in its database. This process is done behind the scenes, which is handled server side by a backend developer. So, a few backend programming languages would include PHP, .NET, Python, etc. Now coming back to our front-end programming languages. Now let's discuss about HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML describes the structure of a web page. HTML tells the browser how to display the content. Now let's understand this in simple terms. Now consider HTML as the skeleton of your website, which displays content. Now let's move forward to CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements should be displayed. CSS handles the look and feel of a web page. Now let's understand this in simple terms. CSS is used to style the HTML elements. Like for example, you have the colors, size, font weight, etc. Lastly, but not the least, now let's discuss about JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language that enables you to create dynamic updating content, controls multimedia, animate images, and pretty much does everything. So JavaScript is a programming language for the web. JavaScript can update and change HTML and CSS. JavaScript can also calculate, manipulate, and validate data. So to explain JavaScript in simple terms, with JavaScript, you can manipulate the HTML, CSS, and add animations, do all your calculations, create logic, functions, etc. We will learn all these in details in our upcoming videos. So, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching and please do like this video. Also please share it with your friends and family. And please do subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon. By this you will receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you, keep learning and stay tuned.